your body. Yay, Jean, I wonder why you feel lighter today. I love that. I'm a Leo moon, Sagittarius sun. I'm your moon sign. I love that. You have a Saggy moon. That's beautiful. You're awesome. Where are my fire babies at today? Put a fire emoji if you're a fire sign. I want to know if I think I attract a lot of fire signs. So let me know if you're a fire sign. Or if you have a big placement, a top 3 placement. But I want to know if you're a fire sun, actually. Yeah. There's a fire. I love Gemini. Gemini is our sister sign. Gemini is our sister sign. I'm a Leo moon. I'm a Leo moon too. Earth and air. I have Earth Virgo rising. All right, you guys. I love Leo moons. Leo moons. We're meant to be seen. So anybody who's in here that says they're a Leo moon, I need you to be acting like it, okay? If you're a Leo moon, that means you're meant to be seen. You're meant to be outward and this and that. And so what are you representing? You're meant to for people to see you. And you probably have a complex around being too much or always trying to be the center of attention because people feel threatened by your light. And so you've dimmed your light. And now when you heal, you're going to come back to that Leo moon and be like, oh, it's my birthright to have the light on me. I'm literally, it's the sun. It's the ruler of the sun. You're meant to be in the spotlight. That's why do what you're supposed to be doing. People are looking at you. Okay? What are they learning? So, some of you guys, someone said in here, sitting with your emotions. So welcome, 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 you guys. And you know I've been talking about abandonment wounds, anxious attachments, avoidant attachments, how to regulate, how to become confident, just all these things that we need help with on this journey in order to feel our best. And I'm recognizing that a lot of people that are booking coaching calls with me are getting to a point where they need somatic therapy, where they need to learn how to actually physically release the trauma and then start to embody the person that they are, that they want to be, that they're becoming. But you cannot embody the person that you're becoming when you're still holding on to these maladaptive ways of thinking, coping mechanisms, these limited beliefs about yourself. You can't. They're contradictory, okay? On one side, we can't be, oh, I'm confident and I love myself. But then on the flip side, we're doing things that are indicative to show that we don't love ourselves by staying in relationships too long that are toxic, staying at jobs that are not fulfilling, having friendships that don't feel good. Anything that is not in alignment, that does not a full body yes, needs to go. And a lot of you guys are getting to that point and you're recognizing that in this journey. And this is where it's hard because you really are getting to the place where you cannot get to this next chapter without actually changing your behavior and stepping in and being somebody different. Okay? So I am 9 days sober today. I garden a little bit, but 9 days sober feels so good. No sugar, no caffeine, no alcohol, no nothing. I never was a drinker anyway, but it feels good. I've been participating in Ramadan, so this is day 9 of fasting, and you guys, I like this. Okay, this has been good for my body to just have this detox. I feel amazing. I am already adapted to the schedule of eating after, when sundown, and it's been awesome. 9 days, I have not had a sliver of artificial sugar. I have not had a sliver of caffeine. I haven't even looked in the little drawer. I got my little drawer. I got my gardening drawer. I don't even open it. I haven't even been thinking about it. It's so crazy how I finally just got to a place again. And you guys know, if you've been with me before, I went like 5 months without gardening. I went 5 months taking it away. But I needed to do it again. It just gets to a point where I love it. Okay? I love bacon and eggs. Save me some, okay? No, I love it. I do. I enjoy it. And I am being very honest with myself where whatever shame that I was feeling around doing it, I'm like, yo, I'm letting go of that. I understand what it does for me, but I also understand when I start to abuse things. And I think that goes for any of us. Too much of anything is too much. So I know a lot of you guys have been getting downloads that it's time for you to change some of these habits, change some of these addictions, and start to deal with the issues. And so the reason why you're having these downloads is because the addictions are not even hitting the same. It's not even hitting the same. If anything, it's making you feel more shame because ignorance is no longer bliss. You're not running anymore. This is the season where you stop running. So the version of you that's still hanging on, to these maladaptive ways of coping, like, oh, I can't do it. I need the drink. I need this. No, you don't. You're just prolonging it. And so this is why a lot of you feel like you're stuck on this journey right now, and you don't know what to do. You don't have the clarity because you're not clear. How are you going to have the clarity when you are constantly putting substances in your body that pollute you, that disconnect you from God? You can't hear the downloads. It's so polluted. And I think this is why the fasting and doing what I'm doing and eating and like the inflammation that has left my body. A few people on my Instagram, I posted some pictures. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, make sure you're following me on Instagram, because that's where I post all my bulletins, all my news, and my funny content. I have a lot of like comedy on there and just dancing. It's just really fun. So make sure you follow my Instagram. But a lot of people are like, whoa, I feel like you've lost a lot of weight already. I'm like, I've lost some weight, but mostly it's water, it's inflammation. It's only been 9 days. And yes, I am eating a lot less because it is hard to get so many calories in from sundown. Like, it's really hard. And now that the time change happened, I'm going to have to I usually wake up around 5 a.m. So I am going to have a breakfast in the morning before sunrise. So that's how I'm going to start dealing with it. But I have lost a lot of inflammation because of all these things. Yes, releasing it all, releasing the pain. And that's why when people say, when you finally step in and you do this work and you start to let go of the baggage, you do start to feel better and look better and glow and do things. And it's not just because simultaneously, oh, you just let go of the emotional and you glow. No, when you let go of all these things and these ideas, this is when you start to want to take care of yourself. When we abuse ourselves and we do all these things, it's because we are not loving ourselves. Okay, that's what it is. Someone who is genuinely loving themselves would not constantly pollute their body and put them in a situation where they could be hurt. But because our pain runs so deep and because it's so scary, a lot of us don't care. In the moment, we're not even thinking about it. We're just whatever. But then when someone gets sick in our family, someone gets diabetes, someone has a heart attack, someone has cancer, then all of a sudden, and sometimes that's what it takes to wake people up. Sometimes I don't know. Yeah. So at some point, we got to get honest. Okay. At some point, we got to stop living in this fantasy of what we want things to be and look at the reality of what it is, because looking at the potential of things is what's gotten you in trouble. And you guys know it. You've seen the potential in everybody. You see potential in it. And then that potential never happens. And then you recognize, once the rose-colored glasses come off and you come back down to earth, that you were with somebody that was not even worthy of being with you. Because you were trying to save somebody, because you were trying to make them what you wanted them to be, because you were trying to control somebody, because you didn't want to be alone, because you did not have the confidence to walk away, because you felt undeserving of an actual healthy love that you convinced yourself that you weren't even attracted to it. I think that's page 11 in my book. Yeah. I think that's page 11 in my book. You convince yourself that you're not even attracted to a healthy love because you don't feel like anyone would actually love you the way that you desire to be loved. So you settle for the toxicity, and that's because you know that there's toxicity within you. That's why you know that. You know that you have toxic traits. You know that you can be a ticking time bomb. You know that sometimes you get super defensive. You know that you're not the best person to be honest with sometimes, and that you're not the safest space because you get so defensive and you fly off the handle. You know these things about yourself, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, which is why you feel so anxious to show these parts in relationships. Gosh, that was a mouthful. It's called Uncomfortable Truths, and yes, it is. I have the journal, the book and the journal. They go together. Uncomfortable Truths, a book for breakthroughs. Uncomfortable Truths, a journal for breakthroughs. I don't have any on TikTok Shop, but they're on Amazon. But I understand we're boycotting. We're doing that as well. So I would not be upset if you didn't get it this week, or I know that we're doing it 7 through the whatever. But it is on there. I published this last year before all this went happen. Okay. But yeah, I understand. I will hopefully be getting another shipment soon that I can reload onto TikTok Shop. So I wanted to let you guys know I do have my first abandonment wound workshop. It'll be on March 29th. It is virtual. Okay, it is virtual. The link is in my bio now. You guys have been asking, what do we do? What do we do? How do we heal? So if you are interested in doing that workshop, it's on the 29th. It's the last Saturday of the month. It's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's $25 for 2 hours. And come there with your questions, your journals, and get ready to have a 2-hour group therapy session where I'm literally going to give you a word for word uh, tool for tool what I have done to get here. Because when I tell you guys, I know that it may be hard to believe because of what you're seeing in front of you right now, but I was one of the most insecure, felt so undeserving. Abandonment wounds were crazy. I would be shaking all the time. I couldn't be in relationship after relationship was toxic. I did not have any boundaries. I didn't even know what boundaries were until 2021. I didn't even know I could set a boundary. All these things that I'm going to teach you in this course. Okay, all these things I'm going to teach you in this workshop, and I hope you take a lot of notes, and I hope you sit with it. And I'm going to give you practices. We may do a little breath work and a sound healing. I haven't decided yet, but mostly it's going to be group therapy, getting your questions out there, and I'm going to be direct and honest and help a lot of you guys get to the root of your abandonment, so then you can start to actually heal it. Because once we got to get to the root. We got to know why we are so terrified of being abandoned. Some of you think that this is inherently who you are. Yes, I will be. I'll be probably doing at least once a month, Ray. Some of you guys think that these shadow aspects of you are inherently who you are at your core, and it's not true. And this is why you have so much self-hatred, some of you. This is why you're carrying so much shame, some of you. And it's because you think that these things are inherently who you are, because you are so scared to sit still and actually look deeper at yourself and say, why do I act like this? Why do I want to drink so much? You know what? Why do I? It gets tiring. For someone who has been I've been addicted. I've had substance abuse before. It's exhausting being addicted to something. It is exhausting to feel like I can't do this until I do that all the time. So I don't know if anybody can resonate, but it's exhausting to feel like I can't do that until I have this. I can't do this until I have that. I can't do that. It's so exhausting. I just want to exist and just be and feel good in myself. You know? Yeah. And for me, the reason why I love to garden is because I wasn't comfortable with my anger. My anger was so suppressed, and so I would feel it, and I was like, okay, I just need to do this to keep me like this. So it would just keep me mellow, yay, and maybe I was pleasant to be around, but as soon as it wore off, or as soon as I didn't have any, or whatever, I would get irritated, and I would feel this, and I would start to feel anxious, and this and that. No, I don't want that. That's not a good thing. Okay? So I had to take my power back, and I feel so good. I feel so healthy. I feel amazing, and it feels good to show up and say, like, I'm enough, just me. I'm enough, just me. Okay? Without anything, without any drinks, without any substances, just me. Okay? That is power to me. That is liberating to me. And it took me quite some time. It took me quite some time to really get a hold of it. I've been wanting to take a break since last July. But then my dad and things happened. My dad passed away. I was writing my book and the stress. And I was like, okay, I got to have healthier ways to cope with this stress. Okay, because stresses are always going to come up, and I don't want to resort to substances or this and that whenever I feel stressed, right? Thank you guys. So the gym has been amazing. Finding the gym again has been amazing. Walking with my headphones on, listening to like house music has been amazing. Painting, playing music has been amazing. Just resting has been amazing. So I'm finding other ways to handle my stress. Because, and I think that that's awesome. Thank you. So how do you handle stress? Think about that. How do I handle stress? And does it resonate with me anymore, the way that I'm dealing with stuff? Maybe if I just actually talked about the things, or maybe if I changed some things, then I wouldn't be so stressed out. Okay? You guys, we have to stop thinking that the job that we're in is the end all be all. You have to get outside of the box, and you have to be brave enough to start using your creativity to create. We are creators. We come from creator. And we are creators. And so if you're not creating, that's probably why you feel so depressed. Okay? If you're not creating, and you're not creating something and doing something bigger than you, that's probably why. If you're not in your purpose, it's depressing. It is. When you're just here and you have this calling and you have this inner knowing that you're here for something more, but then you are wasting your creativity doing this banking job that you can't stand, even though you're good at it, even though there's nothing wrong with the banking job, but the banking job is not for you. And the sooner that you can finally just admit that within yourself, and unapologetically, and not look at it as a bad thing and say, I'm meant to do something else. And that's what I had to do. I was great at the bank. I could do it. I can learn anything. I'm very intelligent. I'm smart. You can teach me something. Great. But it wasn't fulfilling. And so then the money wasn't even worth it. The money wasn't even worth it. You said yes, but it pays the bills. But guess what? I'm paying the bills right now too, doing what I love. Isn't that like a double? Isn't that even sweeter? Yes, we have a job and it pays the bills and we're grateful. But what about having a job that you actually like, that you're excited to wake up for, and it pays the bills? You can have both, babe. You can have both. I'm here to tell you. You can have both, okay? And sometimes we don't think that we can, but I'm here to tell you, I can. Okay, I got a house. This is my house. I own it. Paying for it every month. Because I believe in myself. I believe in myself, and I believe in myself so much that I wrote a book and a journal, and you guys believe in me that you've been purchasing it, and I'm so grateful and thank you. I appreciate you guys. All right. I said that I wanted to make money in my sleep. That was my affirmation. That was on my vision board. I make money in my sleep. Guess what? I woke up with some money this morning. It was awesome. I get to check my royalties every day. I love it. It's part of my morning routine. Get up, start the day with my gratitude, being so grateful, and then I say, let me see if I made some money in my sleep today with my words and my hard work and the effort that I put in a few months ago. Look, it's generating income even though afterwards. So if you don't have a product, you need some type of passive income. I'm here to tell you that even when you're doing something that you love, trading your time for money is not it. You want to give yourself the freedom to be like, yeah, I'm taking a month off and the money's still flowing. At least that's me. Maybe that's just my dream. Maybe that's just my dream. My dream is to be able to say, hey, I'm taking the whole month of June off to go to Costa Rica to start writing my book. And I have the money because I already wrote another book that's passive income for me to write this book. You see, you got to think, you got to plan. You got to think about shit. You got to plan ahead. You got to say, what do I want to do? How do I want to live? So what do I got to do? I'm keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. And that's the definition of insanity. So I do have a group stuff. I have an abandonment wound workshop on March 29th. Abandonment wound workshop on March 29th. We're going to talk about abandonment wounds, anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, how to regulate, how to get to the root, how to start coping with it, how to reprogram, inner child work, shadow work. So that is on March 29th. The link is in my bio. It's $25. It's 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So you're going to get 2 hours of group therapy. You're going to get to hear other people's questions that are probably going to be very similar to yours, other people's experiences, and you're going to feel less alone. And you're going to leave this workshop feeling empowered and feeling like you have the tools to start this healing journey. Okay? I'm excited for you. I'm excited for y'all, okay? Because this is why I'm doing it. I don't want to gatekeep. I don't need to be on here doing it. I'm already knowing I have the downloads. I get the enlightenment. I'm listening to it. I see it. I feel it. I don't need to be doing this. I'm doing it because I love it. It's my purpose, and it keeps me up at night that so many people think that they're stuck. You're not. It's a mindset. It's literally in your head. You have to be brave enough to do something different, and so many people are scared because they condition you to be scared. They condition you to think that if you don't get paid every 2 weeks, you can't make it. They condition you to think that if you don't have a 401k, you can't retire. Newsflash, wake up, see what's going on, okay? What's going on in the U.S.? You're probably not going to have Medicaid. You're probably not going to have Social Security, so I need you to start thinking about a plan right now because corporate America ain't it. It's not with the things that they used to offer anymore, especially if it gets dismantled. So what are you going to think about? You're going to have your own savings plan. You're going to have to create your own retirement plan. And I'll tell you what, you can, doing it on your own. But you have to be brave enough to be seen because you have to step into your purpose and you know it. Thank you, Lindsay. I appreciate you subscribing, babe. Thank you. Thank you guys for subscribing. I think what I'm going to start doing for my subscribers, I used to do a whole bunch and it was just kind of too much for the subscriber thing. I was doing a lot. It was burning me out. But I think I'm going to do is my subscribers, they get 2-3 pick-a-cards, 3 pick-a-cards a month. And be honest, because some of y'all, I try to do this and you come back 3-4 times. But I think I'm going to do this. If you are subscribed to me, when I do my readings, you will get 2 free readings a month. 2 free little pick-a-cards a month, just as my appreciation for subscribing and rocking with me. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. That sounds more feasible than what I was doing before. I love it. A fire sign. I'm always going to find the light, baby. But yeah, so March 29th, mark your calendars. Link is in my bio if you want to get a ticket. And be ready with your journal, your water, your heart, your truth. It's going to be fun. It's going to be enlightening. And you're going to walk away feeling much more confident in the direction that you're going. Because sometimes we just need people to lay it out and say, it's not that scary. I told my client the other day, I'm like, it's so much bigger in your head than it really is in real life. It really is. The problems that you have and the things that you feel, it's so much bigger in your head than it is real life. You just need to get it out and have someone else say, oh, I went through that. This is how you do it. Oh, sometimes you just need one person to believe in you. Sometimes you just need one person to say, yes, you can. Sometimes you just need one person to say, no, you can do it this way. It's actually easy. Because you don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. And this is why I've done the work to help you. That's why I do it. This is my purpose. I love it. So let's pull. Let's see what this is. March 29th is an abandonment wound, anxious attachment workshop. It's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern. And the link is in my bio. So if you wanted a 2-hour little group coaching workshop, that's what it's going to be. All right, page 53 in my book. Let's see who I'm resonating with and what y'all need to hear. You projected your love on them and became resentful when it wasn't reciprocated. Who has done that before? Did you know that you were doing that in relationships, guys? Did you know that you were projecting what you want and how you want to be loved and how you love and all these things onto people, and then you got upset? You got upset when it wasn't when it wasn't reciprocated. You projected your love on them and became resentful when it wasn't reciprocated. And not only did you project your love, you did the most to try to prove your worth. And that's why you felt even more jaded, because you went above and beyond for somebody when you didn't have to. And then you expected them to do the same thing when in 2 weeks, babe, why do I have to do all this stuff? You're the one pulling out all the stops and doing all these things. And I don't want to do that. I want to actually get to know you. So it lets me know that you are trying to secure an outcome that you have in your head. You're not trying to get to know me yet. You're not trying to actually fall in love and get to know me. No, you have an outcome in your head and you're pulling out all the stops in the beginning of the relationship to make sure that outcome comes true, instead of taking your time and seeing if I'm even worthy of all this shit. You know, am I even worthy of you buying all this stuff? Am I even worthy of this? You don't even know me yet. You didn't even get to know me yet. You know? I peep that now. I can tell, I can feel that when someone is coming from a place of unworthiness. I can feel it, and I don't like it, because I don't want anybody to feel like they have to prove my worth. They'd have to prove their worth to me. So if I am dating somebody and I feel that energy, I'm going to call it. Hey, you don't have to do all this. Like right now, I feel it. I can feel that you're doing this, okay? And so I'm very, very vocal. And so a lot of people can't handle how direct and how vocal I really am. And I've recognized that. I recognize that people are very threatened by my truth, the truth, their truth. But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to speak it. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to be real. When you ask me something, it doesn't mean that I'm very comfortable saying, hey, can I talk to you about this? I'm very comfortable now. I used to be the main person to run from confrontation, run from conversations. I would ruminate on stuff all day long, and to the point where it made me sick, because I would be so anxious with all these assumptions, instead of just going to the person and saying, hey, is this what it is? I'm tired of just ruminating about this all day. How do you feel about this? I'm so tired. You know how many times I've been in relationships trying to date somebody and I'm so scared to ask them basic ass questions. There's been so many men, not so many, I haven't dated that much, but there's been a few men that were so guarded, and I could feel it energetically. And instead of me saying, hey, I want to ask you these questions, we're dating, I'm trying to get to know you, I don't want to keep going on 50 dates and we're not even asking shit. Like, yeah, we've established that we can have fun, but can you hold space for me? Are you there? Like, are you in your masculine energy? Are you direct? Do you have a plan? Where are we going? But there's certain men that gave off the energy, don't ask me that shit. Like avoidance, they give off that energy, don't be asking me shit. It's just the energy that people give off. And I used to just match that energy, even though I would be like, I know, I want to know these things. I want to ask this stuff. I would match their energy, and we'd just both be there quiet. And then every time that the date would end, I'd be like, oh, I wish I would have asked this, and I wish I would know this, and I wish I would have, and I would just make all the excuses. Okay, well, it's been like 6 dates, and maybe this and that, and just all these excuses. Like, what are we doing? And this is where you feel like you've wasted your time, when all of a sudden it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months in, and you still haven't really gotten to know the person because you're scared, or they're emotionally unavailable and you know it, and you're trying to jump through hoops to make them available. Meanwhile, not recognizing that that's you also mirroring back that you're emotionally unavailable as well. Okay, so I need the anxious attachments to know that you have a level of emotional unavailability too. Okay? It's not just the avoidants that are uncomfortable talking about their true feelings. You are too. You just get anxious and it comes out in a different way, and then the avoidant is just silent half the time and does other things to distract themselves. But you fixate usually on the avoidant instead of looking in the mirror. That's your fixation. That's why the avoidant feels so suffocated, because every single part of the problem is if they would change. But what about you changing? What about you changing? Why do you think that the avoidant attachment should not talk to nobody anymore, not do anything to make you feel safe instead of you? Can we move on? Are you asking me, yourself? What are you talking about? Emerald? Can we move on from what? What I'm speaking about right now? Or in your relationship, can you move on? Clarify. Can we move on from what? From relationships or... Okay, so yeah, Ooh, I was joining the slide to be called out. Yeah, and so, yeah, as an anxious attachment, I think we are in victim mode. We're in victim mode because we refuse to set boundaries. You know what I'm saying? We refuse to set boundaries. And so I had a download that I'm going to write out today, but like, if you refuse to set boundaries, you are the perpetual victim, and that shit gets old. It really does. It keeps going. It gets old. It gets old. Please keep going. Oh, I'm going to keep going. I just like being direct with people. When you say something, what do you mean? You know, when people say stuff, that's kind of like, I like to clarify. What did you mean? Did you mean that you want me to hurry up and finish talking so that we can go to the next one? Is that what you mean? I just want to know. Be direct. I like to make people uncomfortable. If you didn't know. If you didn't know by now, I really do enjoy making people uncomfortable when they show up. You want to show up some type of way? I'm going to show up too. Let's talk about it. I'm not scared of a conversation. I'm not scared of my feelings. So, yeah, the anxious attachment has a lot of preconceived notions and assumptions that they literally... So I would assume, or sometimes it was intuitive, but I would assume that my ex was talking to other women and cheating on me. And I wouldn't ask directly. I wouldn't have these conversations directly, but I would just feel it. And then I would build my personality based on an idea that I had instead of just being direct. So now I'm walking around the house mad and huffing and puffing. And he's just like, what's wrong? What is going on? Nothing. Like, that version of me, I'm not talking shit about her. I love her. I understand why she was the way that she was. She did not have the tools that she has now. I love that version of me. She still had a pure heart. She was loving, but she didn't know how to communicate, and that's not healthy for any type of relationship. So as much as I want to say, oh, it's only his fault, it was his fault, no, it was my fault too. Because how are people going to know how you need to be loved if you can't even articulate it? And that's because a lot of us haven't even sat with ourselves. We just see the TV and say, oh my gosh, I want to love just like that. That's what I want, but you don't want to do any of the work to actually be healthy in the relationship. You just want these toxic dynamics because that's what you saw growing up until you get in it and you're like, this shit is kicking my ass. This relationship is kicking my ass. I can't think about work. I don't have no friends no more. I don't have any joy. The things I used to love, I don't care. My whole sense of self is trying to keep this person from abandoning me. That's my whole mission on earth now, is to keep this person from abandoning me. All while simultaneously abandoning myself. Yeah, it didn't work out. It didn't work out that well, you know? It did not work out that well. It didn't work out when I abandoned myself to try not to be abandoned by men. They always ended up abandoning me in the end because I was abandoning myself. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You guys, the reviews and stuff that you guys have done on my book, you have no idea. I'm just sitting in my room crying, okay? You guys post your videos and I see your reviews on Amazon and TikTok Shop and all the things, and I just sit in my room and I'll just be crying. I'll just cry. Because I just can't. It's just weird. Like, this is me. Like, you guys are talking about me. Someone who felt invisible. Someone who didn't think that I was even smart. I thought I was stupid because I was undiagnosed ADHD. I think I'm on the spectrum as well. Undiagnosed. And I learned different. And I have so much energy. And I couldn't sit down. And I always get in trouble. And I made good grades. Even though I graduated with a 4.3 because I took AP classes, I still was like, I'm stupid. I still, even though I graduated high school with a 4.3 GPA, I still felt like I was stupid. Then wonder why that relationship's like Bridget Jones. I know, Kat. Yeah, I still felt stupid. I still felt like I wasn't enough. I always felt like I wasn't enough, especially when it came to love and relationships and men. Oh my gosh, that was where I felt the least deserving and worthy of anything. But now that I've done the work to see myself, I'm like, girl, what? Now I'm like, I look in the mirror and I'm like, girl, the stuff that you put up with, girl, the stuff that you put up with, girl. That's how I feel. No, never again, never again. Like, no, it's so wild how much I put men on a pedestal, how I put friends, everyone. I put everyone on a pedestal. And when you put people on a pedestal, that means you're beneath them. Did you know that? When you put people on a pedestal, that means that you're beneath them. And so then when you already in your mind say that you're beneath somebody, what are you going to try to do to make sure that you actually deserve them? You're going to prove your worth. Prove your worth, because you already see this person as better than you. So now you got to prove your worth. It plays on your insecurities when really they're just as insecure and probably have just as much shit as you do. But you're so busy, you're so busy downing yourself and not seeing your own light that you can't recognize it. And this is why the self-sabotage happens. This is why the self-sabotage happens, and this is why relationships end, even if it's two really good people, but they're just two really hurt people. Two really hurt people can be detrimental. It is. Yeah. But anyway, so we got to start moving this energy out, right? So we have all this energy. We've been in therapy, a lot of you guys, and we can't intellectualize our trauma to death. At some point, we do need to start moving it and doing things to start healing our nervous system, to start getting this energy out, right? You can only talk about it so long. We can only say, I know that dad didn't do it on purpose. I know that mom didn't do it on purpose. I know that mom was hurt growing up. I know that dad was hurt growing up. I know the guy that hurt me, he's hurt. Okay, we know this. You know this now at this point, right? You are aware of this, right? You are aware of this, right? You're aware that hurt people. Your mom went through some stuff. Okay, but why are you still showing up like you don't know? Huh? Why are you still showing up like you don't know? Why are you still showing up like the belief that I'm not enough? And why I say that is your actions. You can say it all day long. No, I know I'm deserving of a healthy love. Meanwhile, you're in a relationship that's toxic and you're not trying to get out of it. I know I'm deserving of healthy love, but you've been with this person that has been toxic. You guys have been in a toxic relationship for 5 years now. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So, do you really know? Do you really know? I know how creative and talented I am, but I don't see when are you creating? You know it, but are you doing it? There's such a difference between words and actions, which is what a lot of you guys wanted more of in childhood. You wanted less words from dad. You wanted less words from dad, and you wanted more action. You wanted less, oh yeah, we will, and more action, right? You said you're going to pick me up. Why didn't you pick me up? You said you were going to do this. Why didn't you do this? Well, you said that you were going to go to the gym and you still haven't. You said that you were going to start eating healthy and you didn't. You said that you were going to quit drinking and you haven't. You said that you were going to stop serial dating all the time and you haven't. You said that you were actually going to put yourself first and you haven't. You said you were going to start setting boundaries and you didn't. You said you were going to actually. So it seems like the way that people have let you down by just using words and no action, you are perpetuating that same cycle within yourself. Because people let you down, because people did not make you a priority, because people, had other things that were more important, you always have other things that are more important. You don't make yourself a priority. It's no thing for you to let yourself down and then wonder why you don't have confidence. That is crazy. I used to do that too. How come I'm not confident in anything? Because you don't follow through on anything that you say you're going to do for yourself. But you steady here. I build a whole business for my ex. I'll build a whole business and coach my ex all day. But when it comes to actually living in it myself, it just seems so hard. I don't know. But I can give it away. I can give my power away and I can give my light away all day. But I refuse to use it for myself. And then I wonder why I'm not where I want to be and why I don't feel how I want to feel and why I wake up feeling empty, wake up feeling purposeless, wake up feeling nothing, wake up feeling numb, wake up feeling depressed, okay? And if you've gotten to the point in your spiritual awakening where you're going through your dark night of the soul and you're allowing yourself to finally feel all the feelings that you've been running from with alcohol, people, sex, drugs, work, being busy all the time, now you're realizing, damn, I really am depressed. I didn't know how depressed I actually was. I didn't know how depressed I actually was. Last summer was one of the most depressing summers I've ever had. Last summer, I laid in bed for about 6 weeks. And those of you who have been following me for a while, you know I didn't even come on here for like 6 weeks. 6 weeks I wasn't on here. And that is so unlike me. But I needed to finally deal with some shit. You know what I'm saying? I was on here every single day. And then finally the depression came up. My sexuality, all this stuff, my sexual abuse, all this stuff finally came up. I got to the point in my journey where I couldn't just keep pushing through and simultaneously learn these lessons and show up to work. This is why I don't work for a 9 to 5 anymore, because what 9 to 5 would allow me to take 5 weeks off to help with my mental health? You know how we say, I need to take a mental health day. I needed to take a mental health month. I needed a mental health month. And I couldn't do that in corporate America. I couldn't do that in corporate America. And so I could never get to the place of this because corporate America was always the priority, always taking over the priority. And my mental health, I didn't have time. I didn't have time to sit with it. I got to work. I couldn't do it. I needed some space. I needed space. And so we got to create that space for ourselves, you guys. We have to create that space for yourself. All right. Some of you guys have 401k. Some of you guys have been working in corporate America 10, 15 years. I need you to look at that 401k and see what you want to do with it. Maybe that 401k is an investment that you roll over into an IRA and you use that to start your business once you get a plan. Maybe you say, you know what, this $50,000 401k is not going to be worth, I'm not going to be able to retire on this, clearly. So let me invest this shit right now and double it. Let me invest this for my business. Let me invest this 50k for my 401k. Let me dissolve that and use it to give me some time to just sit for a second. Some of you guys, it's not even that you just need to build a plan. You just need some space to just sit for a second. Okay? I just need you to know you have options. I used to be a banker, so I'm going to tell you some options that you have as a banker. I worked in banking for 10 years. Okay? A lot of you guys have 401ks that you're contributing to that you don't even look at. So go to your little portal, your home portal on the computer, and go look and see how much you have. You can roll it over into an IRA with no penalty. If you try to take it directly from the 401k, they probably will tax you 10 to 15%. But if you roll it over into an IRA, there's zero penalty because it's not liquidated. Then once it becomes an IRA, you can, a risk-free IRA, then you can liquidate it from there at probably a 4% charge instead of a 10%. And then, but don't do it until you have a plan. Don't do it until you started to heal these money wounds, because you know what's going to happen. You're going to dissolve it and then use that shit because you've never seen that much money in your account. And you get so excited because you still have poverty wounds. Ooh, look at the money. Let's go buy this and buy that. And then all of a sudden you got a whole room full of junk and still nothing to show for it. But you got the Gucci flip-flops. I got the Gucci flip-flops, and it makes me feel validated when I walk around and people say, ooh, even though I don't got a pot to piss in. But I got the Gucci flip-flops because the perception is what matters. I've met a lot of people like that. I've met a lot of people like that, okay? And especially men. The men really hold a lot of value around that provider and the money and stuff. And men have this idea that women only want them for the money, which is not true. Yeah, we do want a direction and what we're doing, but we're not with you for the money, babe. We can make our own money. We've proven that in the last 60, 50. We've proven that, okay? I'm good. No, we want the direction. We want the loyalty. We want the emotional availability. We want the empatheticness. We want to be able to talk to you and communicate. We want you to not shut down. We want you to actually stay present in the relationship. We want you to have a vision. We want to know that you're being led by a higher power, because I don't want to be led by you and you're being led by your demons. So many men, I don't know, women. No, you don't got nothing going on. What are you doing? You got to heal. You got mother wounds that are deep. You got deep ass mother wounds, and you got toxic masculinity because of the culture. I'm not blaming you. I'm just trying to make you aware of it. You need to heal. And I'm here to help you. For real. But you got to be vulnerable, and you got to let down that ego, and you got to stop acting like you know it all, because you don't. And you got to listen. You got to be willing to listen. Okay? so unconscious, so asleep, just going through doing it. You're not happy sleeping with all these people over and over and over. I'm going to tell you that now. You're drained, you're tired, it's taking your life force, and it's exhausting. What you want is someone to really deeply connect to you, that really sees you, that's there for you, but you don't trust it because you have a deep wound with the mother wound. So you don't trust feminine energy. And a lot of the men are in their repressed feminine energy, which is why they attract masculine women, and the polarity's off, because a lot of times that's not their true energy. There are some women where their true energy is masculine. There are some men where their core energy is feminine. And they're okay with that. And you'll know if it's your true energy if you're not annoyed by it. If you were meant to be in a masculine energy, you would be okay leading. You'd be okay paying the stuff. You'd be okay with it. But if you're not, that means that you're forcing yourself to be something that you're not because you don't feel safe. And the same goes for men, especially men that are emasculated, that are in their feminine. They can't stand it, but they like to convince themselves that I want to be taken care of and I want this and I like it. But no, they don't. They secretly resent the woman because they take the leadership that they wish that they had. The polarity's off. It is. Okay? I never want to be that controlling, rigid, angry version of me ever again. And that's how I used to be in relationships. I used to be very controlling and very rigid. I could be fun and playful, but you better listen to everything. You better not talk to nobody. You better not do anything that makes me feel threatened, because I am so insecure that I'm only good when you are sitting here with me and I can see you and everything's great. But as soon as you go out, or as soon as you don't text back at the same time, as soon as you take too long to call me, as soon as something, I'm insecure. No, we got to heal that from the inside. And so both the masculine and the feminine have to sit and look at it. I had such daddy wounds, so I was looking for my partner to be my daddy. And then I would attract men that had such deep mother wounds that they were looking for women to be their mama. The polarity's off. Okay? But now that I realized that I could not do this healing work while in relationship, which a lot of you guys are coming to that conclusion, and I know that you don't want to let go of the person, and you're still, if those of you that are in a relationship right now and you know that it needs to end, but you're having a hard time letting go because you're in a trauma bond and you've invested so much time and energy in this person and you just are so attached to the outcome, you have to let go of that person if you want to actually heal. You do. You have to walk away and let go of that person and choose yourself. That is what the lesson is all about. God, spirit, source guided you towards that person to wake you up to how much you did not love yourself. And then now it's time for you to choose yourself. That is the lesson, guys. The lesson is not to fight harder, fight to the finish, fight to the death. It's to choose yourself and say, hey, if anything takes this much work, this must not even be worth it. There's a difference between work and working things out and doing the work and literally beating your head against the wall trying to get somebody to be somewhere they don't have no damn business trying to be. Okay? Some of the people that I dated are still doing the same shit, chasing women, womanizer, doing drugs. They're still doing some of the same shit. So look, if I would have just sat here, waited, I would have been here 6 years. Still twiddling my thumbs, still jumping through hoops, still trying to get this. And some of you guys have been in this situation, and I'm here to tell you that it's not them, it's you. It's not them, it's you. The longer that you stick around in these relationships, the longer that you don't set boundaries, the longer that you don't speak your truth, the more that you are reinforcing the message that you are okay with this and this is what you deserve, because you have a deep belief that it is. That is the truth. You have a deep belief that it is what you deserve, because what would be any logical reason? What's the logical reason of why you would stay in an abusive relationship if you loved yourself? Salutations. I bought The Uncomfortable Truth, and then my cousin visited from Cali, and I gave it. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad that you shared it. That's what I want. I want everyone to share it. I want it to be like The Alchemist, like everybody just gives it and shares it. I love that. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you so much for supporting my book and for supporting my work. All right, let's see another one. Most females, we have history, or we have kids together. Oh, yeah, I know. Yep, I know. And please stop using the kids as an excuse to stay. You know damn well that when you were in that crazy ass situation with your mom and dad, that you wish that that was not healthier. Okay? That was not healthier for you to continue to see abuse and see all these things just because your parents are trying to stay together for you. Don't do that shit for me. Y'all need to get happy for yourselves, because the way that you guys are showing up is deeply impacting me as your child. So maybe I won't understand it, and maybe I will be mad and I'll be upset that why did you guys get divorced? But later on I will understand. And that was my exact situation. I was so upset with my mom and dad. I was only like 18 months when they got divorced, and I know it affected me so much going back and forth to my dad. All this stuff is so hard on kids. We don't talk about that enough. We don't talk about how divorce and having to go back and forth, mom and dad, and have two totally different households. And when you have tumultuous relationships, you go to dad and dad's talking shit about mom, and then you go to mom and mom's talking shit about dad. We don't talk about that, how detrimental that shit is for kids. I'm over here feeling like I gotta pick one parent. I'm over here being told about this, so I'm angry. I don't know if it's the truth. Getting so emotionally manipulated. So many kids are used as pawns against a partner. I think it's terrible. It's terrible how kids are used as pawns in these relationships to try to hurt each other. I'm the one being hurt, the child. Hello? You say you're doing it for me. You're doing this. No, you're not. You're doing it in your own ego. You're not doing it because of me. Stop lying to yourself. You're doing it because of your own ego, because you don't feel deserving enough. You don't want to walk away, and you just happen to have a kid with this person. And now that you have a child, you feel like you got to make it work because we got to be a family. This is not a family. If you're going to have the same toxic dynamics that you had growing up, if that's the family you want, then yeah, stay. But if you want to create something different, breaking the cycle is walking away from that toxic relationship, regardless of if you have a child, because maybe you stayed, maybe you came from a family who stayed and you saw how much that really traumatized you even more. So breaking the cycle is being brave enough to say, hey, you know what? Even though I really value marriage and I really value relationship, I tried as hard as I can, but it is not worth my mental health and these kids seeing this and being re-traumatized. You know how intuitive kids are. You know how aware they are. You know how tapped in they are, because you were that child that felt everything, saw everything. You couldn't get shit past you. You knew what you were feeling. You knew what you were experiencing when you were younger. Even if you couldn't understand it, you knew what it felt like. You knew what it felt like. And you knew that it was a negative energy or a positive energy. You knew if it was a high frequency or a low frequency. You knew that. So don't second guess and think that your kids don't know that. We're in the age of the Aquarius. I think these babies are more tapped in than we were. Okay? So you got to start getting honest with yourself. A lot of the things that you're doing is because of ego, especially like page 3 in my book that has been so viral lately. Page 3 in my book that you guys seem to just be losing your mind over. I'm like, damn, I didn't know this breakthrough was going to break the internet. You don't want them. You want them to want you, because your abandonment wounds from childhood make you hyperfixated on being chosen. You are still trying to be chosen, guys. This is why you're in the relationship. You're not in half of these relationships because you're so in love and that's the love of your life. Be fucking for real. You know some of those people that you said was the love of your life. You look back now and you're like, damn, that was not the love of my life. It was the attachment. It was the love of the attachment. It was the love of the attachment, because finally someone is choosing me because this love bombing feels so good and I've never felt this before. This must be it. This must be my soulmate because these words feel so good. And then wait, but how come the actions are not matching up? No, that's okay. That's okay. They're just going through a rough patch. I can change them. I can change it. I can control them into being the love of my life. I can change this. Let me just stay. Hold on. Wait. No. I got this. I am not doing that anymore. I am not trying to force somebody to be somewhere they're not ready to be. I'm going to tell you what I expect. You're going to feel my energy, and whether we are compatible or not, we'll find out in the first couple dates. Easy. I don't have to go through all this. I don't need to be in a 6-month, 1-year relationship to figure out I'm not compatible with somebody anymore, because I'm going to ask the questions, and however they respond, I'm going to be like, okay. So if I say, hey, tell me a little bit about your childhood. Have you been in therapy? Is there anything that you've been working on? And they say, no, I hate therapy. Therapy's for crazy people. Yeah, the past is the past. Check. Oh, excuse me. What? What'd you say? Oh, I was just asking for the check. Oh, where are we going? No, I'm going home. We're not compatible. I'm not going to try to say, well, why don't you think this when you should go there? Maybe you should. I'm not doing any of that. I don't have no energy for that. If you can't get to that conclusion that you need to get help for yourself, I'm definitely not going to be the one to convince you. Okay? I'm not worth anybody changing over. I've already known I'm worth myself changing, but I am not worth someone else changing. They are worth it changing for themselves. Okay? There's no amount of love and gifts and anything that I can do to make somebody wake up when they're not ready to wake up. There's no amount of sex. There's no amount of throwing it down, doing it back sideways from the ceiling fan. I tried to do it. Okay. Okay. I'm going to say this. And I'm going to say it in the way that it came up in my head. But yeah, I've tried to fuck my way to security in relationships. Okay. You guys, I'm not doing invites. Please stop asking me. Thank you. I've tried to fuck my way to security. I don't know how else to say it, but I tried to lay it down, do it up, split it and jump it and do a backflip do all of it. I tried to do it all. Come on, don't you like it? Don't you want to be it? Come on. That don't work either. Okay? You can have the good, and there's still go over there. Okay? So stop. And if there's men in here, can you confirm? You can have a good, and it's still not going to make you commit if you're not ready to. Where's the men in here? Speak up. All right? And I tried to do it. I did. I said, come on, don't you like it? Come on. Abandoning myself, doing stuff I didn't even want to do. I was doing stuff I didn't want to do. I was sitting here like, Lord, how did I get into this situation? What the hell am I doing? I don't even want to do this shit because I'm trying to keep somebody. No, if I have to abandon myself and do stuff I'm not even comfortable with to keep you, to hell with it. You can go. You can go. I don't want to do this no more. Yeah, and like I'm trying to tell you, sex with emotionally unavailable people is not what you think it is. All right, emotionally unavailable sex is not all it's cracked up to be, and some of y'all know that. Some of you guys know it's literally just a fucking transaction, and you're just sitting here. And I'm like, oh yeah. Anyway, yeah, I guess I have to go to the store today. I'm gonna go to Costco. Ooh. There's been times, I'm not playing. There's been times where I've been laying on I'm going to Costco today. Ooh, and then I'm gonna do, I love it, oh my God. And then I'm gonna go get that shirt fixed. I need to go get that shirt tailored. Oh my God, I'm close. Anyway, and then tomorrow, oh God, my leg is cramping. I really hope he'd hurry the fuck up. I'm about to do that special move so he can get the fuck up out. I'm about to do the move. Okay, anyway, so, and then I get into the, no, don't do the move. No, it's over. I'm about to get out this bitch. I'm not even enjoying it. I don't even feel nothing right now because there's no connection. We're literally just two bodies. Small. It's not. And then I have to perform because of the ego. Oh my God, get that. Whoa. Next. And then I go in the bathroom, piss. This would always be me. Just on the toilet. Risking my life for nothing. Oh, Lord. Anyway. I made a promise to myself. I am never going to fake that ever again. That is such a deep form of self-abandonment to fake that shit. If we're not getting there, we're not getting there. And there, as women, we know from like sometimes, no, it's not going to happen today. So don't do it. Don't try harder. And I need someone who's so secure with themselves because of that, because I have sexual trauma, because I'm going to need more time. And because of that, I need someone who is so secure in their sexuality and that their validation does not come from having sex with me. Because if I were to meet somebody whose validation came from having sex, they would be so upset because I'm not going to do it all the time just because you want to. This is a new me. And I'm definitely not doing it with you before I'm ready. So don't even try that shit. Okay? I have no problem saying, no, you're not coming in. The fact that I used to feel bad telling people on 2 dates that they can't come over. No, I've seen you 2 times. Now it's absolutely insane to me. It is. Now it's absolutely insane the way that I just thought and just felt people were so entitled to come into my sacred space and fuck up all my energy. Okay? And it wasn't them, it was me. It wasn't them, it was me. Because aren't I the one that's supposed to be in charge of this and setting boundaries for myself? Aren't I supposed to know that, sex is something that's not just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That's not what it is to me. But I tried to fit in with society. And you watch shows like Sex and the City and you see Samantha and you're like, what the fuck's wrong with me? How come I'm not like hot and heavy? I'm not like that. Some of my friends that I go out with, they'd be like, just hunting people down. I'm not like that. I don't know. I'm just like chilling. I don't know. I'm not like that. So yeah, I need to get to know you for a little bit. I'm not immediately enamored. I'm not like that. And I used to think there was something wrong with me until I realized I'm demisexual. I need an emotional connection and sapiosexual. I need an intellectual conversation. I need to know that we can have these deep conversations. I'm not going to be satisfied with someone who's on the surface. 100%, that's a no. 100% no. If all we talk about is the weather and things that are current right now and we can't go deeper, I'm bored. The sex, there's no sex. There's no amount of chiseled job. There's no amount of fineness. There's no amount of money. There's no amount of anything that is going to be able to replace that for me. I know that it's a non-negotiable for me. You can't buy it. And no. So I've really had to settle and realize that within myself to know, like, I don't have as many options as everybody else when it comes to, but I got options, but I don't have as many options, but I got options, but my pool is a little smaller because this path is least traveled. How do I project to people after having to the acknowledgement of being healed and abandoned? How do I project to people after having the acknowledgement of being healed and abandoned? I'm not sure how that question is. One of the best sayings I've heard, relationships reflect your wounds. Everyone we meet is a reflection. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. All the things that I didn't like within my ex, I exhibited. The fact that he wasn't honest with stuff, I wasn't honest with stuff. The fact that he had ADHD, I didn't know I had ADHD. He used to annoy the shit out of me. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then once I got away from him and became more aware, I'm like, I have ADHD too. I'm sorry. I made fun of you. I was making fun of myself. But yeah, a lot of the things I didn't like in him, I had within myself, but I didn't want to look at it. I didn't want to look at it. Yeah. You won't feel like that when it's time. Oh yeah, I know. I'm aware. I know when it's the right person. I don't know. I know. But I definitely know when it's too soon for me and I need to get to know somebody first, and I have no energy. I don't have none of that. I don't start getting any type of like, feelings until I start to know somebody. I don't meet somebody right away and say, I want to fuck them. I've never been like that ever in my life. I've never been like that where I've met somebody or saw someone at the bar and said, I want to fuck him. I've never been like that. I've always been like, how are you guys like this? What do you mean? Like, how do you know you want to fuck? Because look, he's fine as fuck. But like, what if the personality is so like, what do you mean? I just be so confused. And I'm just like, listen, I'm not judging nobody. Y'all do what you need to do, how you do. I'm just going to be focusing on what I need now. Like, I'm just going to focus on me and how I roll. And I've gotten confident in myself that I don't give a damn what society's doing and what's popular and, this, you need to have this, and you've only been with this many people. I don't care about that anymore. I'm dealing with me. I know what the fuck hurts me. So what may be good for you is not good for me. So I'm going to stop acting like I'm like you. I'm not like you. I'm Kristen. I'm individual. I'm not like everybody else, and I love that. I like that I want a deep connection before I share my body. I love that I feel that my energy is sacred here. I like that I actually want it to be special. How many of you make eye contact when you have sex with somebody? How many of you actually look into the person's eyes? Or are you always with the lights and looking like this because you feel so insecure? Because it feels so much for someone to look at you in the eyes, and it feels scary because you have that emotional unavailability within you too. That's why a lot of people don't want the available person when they're unavailable. You don't want that person that wants to call you and wants to be straight up with you because you're not straight up with yourself. So you don't want someone who's going to call you out because you're not ready. You don't want someone that's going to challenge you because you're not ready. So you keep yourself around people that are also asleep because no one's going to check you because you're not ready to be checked. So you stay small until you are. The truth hurts, man, but it also sets you free. I'd rather have a few months of pain than a lifetime of going through these goddamn cycles. Okay? I'd rather have 2-3 months of pain. I'd rather have a year of pain than continuing a lifetime of empty ass connections. That is so draining for me. It's so draining. And every time you get into one of those toxic relationships, like a part of you gets chipped away, I feel like. And it's just like, no, I'm reclaiming all my power back from all the people that I let walk all over me and all the people that I did not, that didn't respect me as a result of me not respecting myself. You know how many boundaries I should have set? You know how many conversations I should have had directly? But I didn't have the tools because I didn't grow up in a household where people just said, hey, I'm feeling kind of sad today. You want to know why? Hey, I'm feeling kind of angry. Yeah, right. You're busting through the house and hitting the shit and hitting people and domestic violence and all this shit. That's what I saw. That's what I saw. So when I would get pushed to the point, you would see my father come out and people would be like, oh my God, who the fuck? I'd be like, oh yeah, this is the duality. I know you thought you met me like this. Hey y'all. But then when you push me to a certain point, I will turn into a person and that's the part of me that's insecure. That would be the part of me that I didn't want anybody to see in relationships. So just don't do shit to make that part come out, babe. All right? That's what I would do. I would try to control my partner. So don't make this part of me come out, because when this part of me comes out, also comes out the shame. And I don't want to go through this shame cycle. So just don't do nothing. That's not realistic. Just tell your partner, don't do nothing. Don't have no friends. Don't go on any guys' trips. Don't do anything without me. No, that's codependent as fuck. I don't want no codependency. Okay? I don't want that. I don't want nothing like that. I don't want no one to have the power over me. And so I had to take the power over myself again. Because when I realized that someone sending me a text had the power to shift my entire day, I said, this is too much. From one moment to the next, from one moment before I heard from the person, I was like this. I hate life. Oh my God. I hate life. I'm worthless. He hates me. He hates me. And then all of a sudden, bing, hey you. I'm worthy again. I'm worthy again. I'm worthy again. Oh, right now. I'm worthy again. I'm worthy again. How many of you have done that? How many of you have shifted your entire personality just because someone finally gave you attention when it was convenient for them? And you've ate it up like it was a 4-course meal. I'm ready to talk to you now. I've already went with somebody else and now there's no one else to hang out with. And since you're always available and you have no backbone or respect for yourself, I'll call you now. Hey, you want to hang out? And not just hang out. You want to fuck? Because that's what I really want to do. I'm not emotionally available. I just want to connect through this. And everybody else was not available. But since you're always just running around like a little dog, I guess I'll pick you next. That's what a lot of people are saying without you think it. I'm trying to tell you. That's what a lot of people are saying behind closed doors. Yeah, she'll do anything, bro. Yeah. If you heard how some of the guys talk about you with their friends, if you only knew. If they only knew. The fact that you don't have boundaries is why they don't respect you in the first place and they don't find you attractive that way. I'm trying to tell you. The more you can detach, the more magnetic you are. And I'm not talking about detach and play games. I'm just talking about like okay, for example, I went on a date. Someone asked me, like, it was like an impromptu date. I went on a date last year and he started talking about sex like right away. And I was just like, yo, why are you talking about this? And he was just like, oh, excuse me. And he's like, you just seem like you'd be a good lover. I'm like, I'm not interested in talking about this right now. You're not going to know. You're nowhere near finding out what kind of lover I am. Damn. You're so like, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I used to shrink in these kind of conversations. I used to feel so small around men. I used to feel so small around men. I would shrink around men immediately, laughing at shit that I didn't think was funny, saying opinions that I don't really believe in just because I want to agree with them with everything. And then no, they're just a person. Take these men off the fucking pedestal. Take women off the pedestal. Take everybody off a pedestal. We're just human at the end of the day trying to get through this shit. Stop giving people all this ammo. What? What's up? And so, yeah, it felt really good. It felt really good when, at the end of the date, this guy, he's walking me. He's like, oh, I'll walk you to my car. And when a guy would walk me to my car, I will tell you guys, that's when I would have the most anxiety. When a guy would say, oh, let me walk you to your car, I would have so much anxiety because I'm like, he's going to try to kiss me. This is where, and I never wanted it. I never wanted it. There's never been one date, I'm telling you, that I haven't had one first date that I wanted to kiss the person. And I kissed a lot of people on the first date, and there's never been one first date where I truly felt like, yes, I want to kiss them. It was always because I felt like if I don't, they're not going to call me back. If they don't, they're not going to choose me. So I am not going to abandon myself. If you don't want me because I don't want to kiss you on the first date because I've only known you for 3 hours, good riddance. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm saying. That's the confidence. That's when you know who you are. I'm not changing because of you. I'm not going to jump through hoops because of you. I want you to love me for me. And who I am is someone that needs to get to know you before we have sex. And if that's not good for you, I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm just saying we're not compatible. You can have all the sex you want, but not with me. And I'm not going to be a conquest for your ass either. Because men like doing that shit too. Especially the more persistent that you are with no, the more they're like, I want to break it. I'm going to break her down. I've had so many men do that. Oh, you don't want, they like a fucking conquest. And then as soon as you finally let that guard down and let them do it, then they dip. In my experience, not always. In my experience. Yo, I'm not doing that shit. You're not going to have me up here mad at myself. I'm mad at myself because I didn't even want to do that. You haven't proven to me that you're worthy of this energy. You haven't proven to me. I'm the chooser. Okay? We're choosing each other, but I'm also choosing. And I recognize that in my experience, I was just wanting to be chosen. I wasn't even thinking, wait, are they going to be a good match for me? Wait, are they going to be a good partner for me? I was just like, I'll be one for you. I'll be a great partner for you. And then I'm not getting anything of what I need in return. You're getting my body. You're getting me in the kitchen. I'm doing all these things that you want. And then I'm not even getting the safety of the connection. Hell nah. I can't even talk to you about shit when shit comes up and you dismiss me. Hell nah. Nah, no. I'm doing all this. Nah. No, you don't value me. You don't value me. So yeah, you have to value yourself. You have to value yourself. They love the competition and attention and they ain't in it for the right reason. Yeah, I know. And it's because men have so many toxic ideologies that they've been conditioned to believe is right and cute and this and that. And this is why a lot of men are single and no one's dating. And a lot of women are not dating and having sex because we're over the shit. And we're taking our power back. And so the more that the divine feminine takes her power back, the more that the divine masculine will be forced to do the same because we are mirroring each other. We have to embody that masculine and feminine energy. And the more that the feminine energy does the work, the more the masculine will be forced. Because at the end of the day, men want to be with us. They want to be with us. They miss us. They love us. They know what we bring to the table, even though they can't stand it. Sometimes they're intimidated. It's true. And I know what men bring to the table too. I'm not sitting here saying that it's just women. The divine masculine that I'm calling in is awesome. He's amazing. Direct. Okay? Loving, empathetic, kind, intuitive, smart, heart-led, led by God. It exists because I exist. And I had to embody the feminine and masculine within myself so I could recognize it outside of myself. The reason why I've never chosen anybody that was actually good for me, because I didn't know who the hell I was. I didn't know what I needed. I didn't know what my trauma was. I didn't know what my love language was. I didn't know why I need presence in a relationship because I didn't get any presence or attention in childhood. So I'm not going to settle for a relationship where someone would rather be on their phone all day than in presence with me. I'm not going to fight with that no more. That's bare minimum shit. Some people get married and I'm like, what are you doing? Some people get married just for the sake of getting married. For real. Some people get married just to say they're married because they think that's some flex. No, I'd rather be happy. Okay, you're over here getting married to somebody that doesn't even fucking respect you. You're over getting married with somebody that you don't even know. And then when you still don't do the work after marriage and you realize, damn, I don't even like this person. I'm bored. What do you do? No, let's not work on ourselves. Let's have a baby. So we can bring somebody else in this bullshit. And then project all of our shit or take all of the attention away from us onto the child. And then, our needs are still not being met. All right, let's see one more. Ooh. You are responsible for speaking your truth. You're not responsible for how someone reacts to it. Hello for my people pleasers. Hello to my people pleasers. Hello. Okay, it says, page 101. You are responsible for speaking your truth. You're not responsible for how someone reacts to it. So stop not speaking your truth because you're scared of their reaction and how they're going to feel. How do you feel by keeping the shit in? How do you feel by not setting the boundary? How do you feel by allowing this person to continue disrespecting you because you don't want to have set a boundary because they may be upset about the fact that they can't disrespect you anymore? I need you to say it out loud so that it makes sense because it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. I don't want to be honest with them because I know if I'm honest with them, it's going to hurt their feelings. Okay, well, how do your feelings feel right now? Do you not matter? Oh, that is the messaging that you're still carrying, that you don't matter. Okay. That is a belief that you have, clearly. And you don't have to say, and people don't understand that. You don't have to walk around the street saying, I don't matter. I don't matter. That's not how it happens. It's very much in the behaviors. It's not like you're walking around, I'm unworthy of love. But when you stay in a relationship where someone is literally disrespecting you, that's what you're saying without saying it. Oh, I love that. Thank you, Moon Goddess. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? You're saying it without saying it. You're saying, I don't feel worthy of a love that actually feels safe, so I'm going to settle for one that is not safe. I'm settling. I'm staying in it instead of saying, you know what? I got to go. Why does it take so long for us to walk away? You know, why does it take so long for us to walk away when we can recognize that it's not working? It's because we try to force it and we try to make somebody go to therapy and we try to make somebody do this shit. Therapy is something that you should be doing completely on your own. No one should have to force you to go to therapy. Therapy is for people who are actually ready to heal. And it can't be on your timing. It can't be on your timing. Okay? It can't be on your timing. It has to be coming from the person's heart. That is when change is actually beneficial and effective. And you also can't dim your light and slow down your growth because you're trying to wait for somebody to keep up that doesn't even want to go where you're going. So some of you guys are not even doing the work because you know that the more you heal, the more you're not even going to be attracted to this person. And you know this shit. You know it. You know that the more you heal, you're not even going to be attracted to this behavior. You're tired of this shit. You're tired of it being a whole ordeal just to have a conversation. You're tired of shutting down and being dismissed. You're tired of being anxious all the time. This is not what a relationship is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a place of retreat. I want to be I want my partner to be my safe space. I want to be, if I have such a crazy day, I want to have the feeling like, oh, I can't wait to get home to my partner and just be in their arms. Like, I just can't wait to talk to them. That's what I'm manifesting. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I don't want the relationship I'm trying to run away from all the fucking time. Shouldn't your partner be the space where you want to go? And we want it to be, yeah, I know, love is not enough. I've loved, I can say at the depth of which I can love myself, I have loved all my partners. I've loved every single one of them to the depth of which I've loved myself. Maybe it didn't feel that deep, but I can tell you from my own perspective and what I was feeling, I loved them. I loved them. I really did. I loved each and every one of the people. I'm not boy crazy. I've never been that person that's been boy crazy. Oh my God, a new person every week. I usually will be in a relationship and then my ass will be single for like 4 years. And then I'll be in a relationship and then my ass will be single for 4 years and stuff like that. Because I'm not like that. I've never been like that. I told you, I'm demisexual. I'm understanding myself now. I've never been someone like, you know, that person that always are talking to somebody, always talking to somebody. You know, you have that friend that like you can't even keep up. And I have friends like that, and I'm not judging them or anything. I know where it comes from. I know they got their own shit. I can see it. I'm not judging. But yeah, if I'm with you and I choose you, it's because I really care about you. If I'm really like committing to you and stuff, it's because I want to be with you. Like, you know, and so I've loved all my partners at the capacity at which I love myself, which when I can look back, I didn't love myself that much. So then that lets me know that I wasn't loving them as deeply as they probably needed to be loved either. I can hold myself accountable to the fact that I was not the best partner. I can hold myself accountable that even though I had pure intentions, I was emotionally manipulative to get my needs met. When you are traumatized, when you are living in a place of ego, you don't give a fuck. You just want to get your needs met. You do. You just want to feel good. You just want to feel okay, even if at the expense of someone else. That's the selfishness that comes from not healing. And it's not because you're selfish. It's just because you're trying to get a need met and you literally feel like you are going through this PTSD in this relationship. That's why you do the things and you don't even give up, because you have PTSD from your childhood and this partner is triggering that shit. So it's not like a normal trigger. It's triggering you to your core. This is why a lot of you guys got into that relationship and that was the catalyst to your healing journey, because this shit is not like a normal relationship. No, this one hit me deep. This one was different. This one I thought was a karmic soulmate or something. Like, this one was the most triggering, and that was because you were so close to being awake. That's why. It wasn't that this one was any triggering or any less triggering. It was because you are on the cusp of the breakthrough of the veil. The veil was thin when you got with this person, because divine timing, your spirit team, God, already knew that this was going to be the year and this was going to be the relationship that woke you up. It was already predestined. It was already predestined in the stars for you to go with this person, abandon yourself, to finally wake up and say, what the hell am I doing? Why am I continuing to do this? Why am I not setting boundaries and then getting mad when people keep crossing them? That's you, babe. That is you. Set the boundary and also stand on business. Set the boundary and stand on business, because stop making excuses. No, they really do like me. No, they really are. They're just this. No, If someone cares about you and you tell them something, you're going to see them make an effort. So stop making excuses for somebody who does not give a damn about you because it fits your narrative. You are over here in this loop all by yourself. You're in a relationship by yourself. That's not what's really going on. That's not the reality. You got to wake up and take off the rose-colored glasses, okay? You are projecting your love and falling in love with yourself. You are projecting your love and falling in love with yourself, and then you're getting upset when they're not meeting you where you want to be. That's not them. You're projecting your love. The anxiety and all that stuff you feel, that's what's really going on. It's an illusion. It's an illusion because this relationship is rooted in fear, not love. And fear is an illusion. Love is true. Love, you can see it. Love is honest. Love is forgiving. Love is vulnerable. Yeah. Love is messy sometimes. You can feel it. You know when someone really cares about you. You know? And you also know when someone's not really there. You do. You're so intuitive. You know when that person's not really there. You may be sitting next to them on the couch, but you know they're not really there. And that's what makes you so anxious. The knowing. And that's why you ignore your intuition, because you don't want what you know to be true within to really be true. You don't want your intuition to be right. You just want to be loved by somebody, and you felt so close to finally getting that connection. You felt so close to finally getting married. You felt so close to finally finding that best friend, and it has to be it. And it's not. Anchors Away. Yeah. So the workshop is the Abandonment Wounds workshop, and it's a place for you guys to be able to ask questions. And then based on your questions, I'm going to build the course intuitively and kind of go through different scenarios, different shadows that we're going to talk about. And it's going to help you get to the root of your abandonment. And then I'm going to give you tools on how you can start changing it, because we are done just talking about it and talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. You're going to have time to process, but then let's start changing so that we can live a different life, a better life. And so we're going to get to the root. I'm going to help you get to the root of it. Then I'm going to give you some tools on how to start integrating it. And then I'm going to open up the floor to speak your truth. It's going to also be a throat activation exercise, because I'm going to ask you guys to start sharing some shit. At some point, you got to get vulnerable. So I'm creating this space for us to do this. And it's going to be like-minded people who are ready to heal. And we're going to do it together, because there is a point where we need help. Okay? It's officially been a month since leaving my fiance. I'm still hurting. Help. Oh, I'm sitting with you. Yeah, I feel you. It's only been a month. It's only been a month. That's not a long time. It's only been a month. That's not a long time. Okay? You're still in that detachment phase where you're still probably like, oh, it's painful. You know, like, I want them. What are they doing? It's hard. You still feel like they are yours. You know what I'm saying? You still feel like this is us. Like, what? It's a very jarring feeling to go from one day planning the life, everything, dinner together, to never talking to that person. It's very jarring. So give yourself grace. Our brain experiences a breakup the same way that it experiences death. It doesn't know the difference between death and just a breakup. It just means like, oh, this person's no longer. And so that's why it's so painful. And it's even more painful when you realize that you've abandoned yourself to be with somebody that wasn't even for real. That shit hurts. Especially when you get to the point where you're asking me to marry you. It's like, damn, like, shouldn't we have worked all this out before we got to this point? But we don't. We just go through the motions subconsciously in our society, because this is what we do. Yep, the wound one. It's the first link in my bio, guys. Buy that book. I'm telling you. Aw, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Yeah. So make sure you're following me on Instagram, okay? Make sure you're following me on Instagram and YouTube. My podcast will be back up. Season 3 is coming soon, okay? Season 3 of my podcast is coming soon. I have 2 seasons up. The first one is all the steps on how I took the leap of faith, how I got the courage to leave corporate America, how I forgave my father, narcissistic abuse. It's really juicy, the first season, how I discovered my anxious attachment. The anxious attachment one is going to be really good. If you guys know that you have that, it's 45 minutes. It's the longest episode that I have. Most of my episodes are around 20 to 25 minutes, very digestible. But the anxious attachment one was about 45 minutes, because it was just, there's so much to it. So if you want some more key details and things about the anxious attachment, thank you, Allie. Thank you, guys. I love you. Go ahead and check it out. My second podcast season is a lot shorter. It's called No More Suffering in Silence, and it's all about my sexual abuse and trauma. So that one is going to be more triggering for those of you that, have sexual abuse and you have not dealt with it. I talk about some very, very vulnerable, taboo things. Like, for example, some of the adult movies that we watch, not recognizing that we've been victims of sexual abuse. And that is what is the word I'm looking for? Dictating some of the things that we're attracted to when we look at adult movies. And then there's some shame with some of the things that you're attracted to. You don't have to say it in here because I know that it's hard to talk about, but I'm just going to speak to you. And if I'm speaking to you, you know that I'm speaking to you. There's some things that you look at night that you feel shamed around when it comes to your sexuality. There's some movies that you look at that you feel really bad about it. As soon as you have the release, you feel shame. I know because I was the same way. Old stepdad and young girl, old man, young girl. Why do you think I looked at that? Because that was my first experience. So I'm sitting here carrying shame for something that was violating to me. And I don't even know why. So I'm carrying this heavy burden thinking that I'm just some crazy fucked up person when really I was taken advantage of by someone who was 50 years old when I was 12. So it makes sense for me to be confused and think that that's what's normal. So then I'm just looking up what's normal to me. Not recognizing, because of the PTSD and the dissociation, that I was actually a victim of sexual abuse. And that's why I'm looking up this shit. That's why I'm looking it up. Because it was my first experience and no one explained anything to me when I was younger. No one talked about anything. So that was my first entry into sex. And I carried the shame for all these years. And I ran away from relationships for all these years. And I've been numb for all these years because of someone else's violation that I blamed myself for. That's not fair to me. So that's why I let it go. And I took my power back. And I decided that I am worthy and I am going to heal these sexual wounds and I am deserving of having healthy sexual experiences that are feeling empowering and safe to me. And I will not give myself to anyone that is not safe. I will not give myself to anyone that doesn't prove to me that they are a safe space. Period. I want to fight it. I know the rage is blowing me recently. Yep. Allie, let it out. The rage has been. We did a rage ceremony with my group on Saturday, and it was so good. It was so good. They're getting better and better. But anyway, guys, I got to go out for the day. I'm doing a whole facelift on my back porch. I got to repot my plants. I'm so excited to get in the soil. I'm going to be grounding today. I've had a very, very long, busy week. Y'all kept me busy last week with all the calls. I want to let you know I have my 55-minute coaching call. The link is in my bio. 45-minute reading. The coaching calls have been awesome. You guys have really been just coming to me with these awesome questions, and I've been giving you guys some great direction and some starting points on how to start healing this, okay? So if you are wanting a call, if you resonate with this and you want some help, I have so many resources. So one, the Anxious Attachment, Avoidant Attachment, Abandonment Wound course on March 29th. That is a resource if you really want to heal. Booking a personal call. If group therapy is not your thing, book a coaching call. If you want a reading, you can book that too. Grab the journal, grab the book. If you don't want to have to deal with me at all and you just want to hear the words and just read it here, grab the book. I have music on my Spotify, Apple, okay? I have podcasts and tons of educational content on your shadows, how to identify your shadows, how to integrate them. If you really want to do this work, you got to do it. It's called Stay Hype. Thank you, Allie. I appreciate you so much. I love you. And I'm so mad that I keep missing your lives. You guys, if you love music and you want music therapy and you want someone who is so educated around the voice and just a lot of things in general, not just that, but music's her specialty, you need to follow Allie. I pinned her here. She is one of my dear friends. You need to follow her music therapy, her sound healing, using your voice. Those of you that have blocked throat chakras, you need to get with Allie. Start using it and getting it open. She will help you get it open. She will soothe you. She's so non-judgmental. She's a safe space. Make sure that you follow her, book with her. She has offerings. Allie, do you have anything coming up? Allie, do you have any offerings or any workshops or any music stuff? I know that maybe in your area. But let them know if you have anything. I don't know if you have any authoring right now or anything. It's right here, guys. I tagged it. You can see it pinned, right? Right here. She's pinned. Oh, let me pin it again. Hold on. I'm going to pin her right now. I just pinned it again. So make sure you follow her. Make sure you follow her. And if you're ready to use your voice, if you want some vocal lessons, if you're a singer and you want to get back into it, my singers, especially my singers, and you know who you are, you know that you're a singer and you stop singing, you need to get with Allie to start singing again, using her voice. Her voice is beautiful, angelic. Okay. Her voice is beautiful. So get with her, especially my singers that need vocal lessons. She gives lessons. She has freaking masters in music theory and stuff. Like, she is very educated around music and healing and the properties. So get with her. Music is very healing, especially when you have someone who has the knowledge on how to do it. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm going to go take a walk and then go start this day and clean up my porch. I'm like, this is adulting. You're so excited to repot the plants and get your porch. I'm so excited. That's the highlight of my weekend. I'm going to repot my plants out in the sunshine, put some music on, and make it all look nice. I'm going to go get like a new bistro, a new patio set. I'm going to get a new patio set. I'm so excited. It's the little things. All right, y'all. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay? Bye. See ya. Bye, y'all.